What's happening, y'all? Rich Sosa coming back at you with another video today. And before we get started, I gotta go ahead and say thank the Lord above, King Jesus, for another day and another opportunity. So God bless every single one of you. And comment down TG for thank God and where you're tuning in from. And I'll get back to you with the response. So as you can see from the looks of the thumbnail, title, and screen, today, man, we're creating another one of those super rare builds. And this one's going to be coming out to the two-way inside out bully dimer. Now, I really love this build for these comparisons of Dan Marichal, Tracy McGrady, but also Jimmy Butler. Now, when it comes towards this one today, read these strengths. Pops from deep with ease. Soft touch on runners, a true lockdown perimeter defender. I know y'all are going to love that one. Moves the ball, creates chaos. And then also when it comes towards these weaknesses, nothing big to report. Now, this is going to be a build that a lot of y'all are going to enjoy if you really want to be that team player, but also be able to hold yourself accountable on offense with being able to pretty much do a little bit of everything. Now, on top of that, these top attributes of the three-point shot, the driving layup, the strength, probably one of my favorites. And look at these go-to badges of set shot specialist, float game, and versatile visionary. So I really went into detail with making this, one of the best. And I'm going to tell y'all right now, a 6'6" build that you can make this year right now going into season 2 today of NBA 2K26, man. So I just really want to say thank every single one of y'all for your support. And before we move any further, man, I do want to open up with a script shop and doing this on every single video. And this is just something that, I really want to share and put out to my community on every single video that I can. So this one's going to be coming from the book of John 15, verse 13. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. And another way to say this, bro, is to lay your life down for one another. And this necessarily doesn't mean, in the context that I'm saying it as, but to be able to put your life out and put your hand out to somebody else, bro, to reach out and grab somebody, to help them out in any way that you possibly can, bro, to, have that true bond, that brotherhood, that sisterhood, that family connection, bro. And this is just something that I really want to share with my community, bro, because that's what I think of us as community, but also one big family. And we're just constantly growing, man. We just hit 19,000 big supporters recently. We're about to be 20,000 this weekend. And I really just want to say that none of this would be possible, of course, without y'all, the rich family. But above everything, man, the man upstairs, Jesus Christ. And that's really what my community is about, is uniting everybody together. And I just really want to say I'm truly blessed to be in the position I am. So before we move any further, man, if it was your first time coming to pro, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family. Now, with a build name like this one, man, you definitely know that I'm going to be bringing it to both sides on offense and defense. So this is about the 24th build that we've created together on this channel, bro. And I want to say that every single build that I do put out for y'all, I'm going to make sure to go back into the details, back and forth, making sure that I get the best possible build name, attributes, badges, takeovers, all of that good stuff. So to start out with this one today, we're going to be making it out of that shooting guard position. I did tell y'all we're going to be 6'6". Now, when it comes towards this weight today, we're going to go with 216. And then once we get into the breakdown of that wingspan, make sure you go with 6'6" here as well. So this is probably going to be one of my favorite all-around builds that you can make this year. And on top of that, when it comes towards these physicals, I really like to start out every single video and every build with this, because it's going to give you a perfect idea of which animations, badges, pretty much the main, go-to factors and key things about the build. So as far as when it comes towards the speed, I'm going to put this all the way up to an 80. As far as when it comes towards the agility, I'm going to do the same exact thing. And then for that strength today, man, we're going to go all the way up to an 88. So for a 6'6" build, bro, you're definitely going to be able to guard down low. And on top of that, when it comes towards this vertical, let's go up to a 77. So I think these numbers are perfect, especially considering, you can do a little bit of everything from, using that vertical to get boards or finish. And then that strength, you can definitely use it on that defensive end and the offense, be a bully down low. And on top of that, the 80 speed and agility, I think that's really balanced for this build. So let's go ahead and dive into the finishing. I'm going to go with a 78 when it comes towards that close shot today. As far as when it comes towards my driving layup, I'm going to go with an 88. And then moving into that driving dunk today, man, let's go with a 75. So, a little sweet spot, not too low, not too high, but you're going to be able to still get some pretty good animations and badges, truly. So when we get to that standing dunk, I'm going to go up to an 80. And to wrap up everything, we're going to go with a 50 post control. And this is what we're going to be looking like for the finishing side of things. So not a bad start, pretty well balanced. And you can already see, the trend that we're going to be going with, not too high of a, a rating on the finishing, but definitely still, still effective. Now, when it comes toward the shooting today, let's go with a mid-range shot of a 79. Once we get to that three-pointer, I'm gonna put this up to an 89. The free throw, this is completely optional, but I'm gonna leave it at a 64 today, man. I think this is gonna be perfect. And for those of y'all who don't know, use Kobe Bryant free throw. I guarantee y'all that's gonna help you out a lot. Now, moving into that ball handle and pass accuracy, I'm gonna go up to an 85. Once we get to that actual ball handle, you're gonna go up one tick to a 76. The speed with ball, let's go with the 75 here. And this is what we're going to be looking like on this side of the ball. So the offense, you know, you're pretty well balanced. We're only a 94 overall. And we still got 5 other overalls to get into to fill up this build. So on that interior end, I'm going to put this all the way up to an 82. And I'll be real with y'all, man. The defensive side does not take up too many of the attributes up when it comes towards, you know, using your full overall. As far as when it comes towards that perimeter end, I'm going to put this up to an 86. Moving into that steal, let's go with a 73. And then to wrap up everything with that block, man, let's go with a 68. Now, just hold on a minute. You know, we still got the offensive and defensive rebound to get into. And I think this is where a lot of y'all would really cater towards putting, you know, these attributes in another area. And I'm going to tell you why you shouldn't. Not only is it going to tell you that you have weaknesses on this build, but realistically, man, if you can use these attributes to get some good numbers on the rebounding, why wouldn't you do that? So as far as when it comes towards that offensive, you know, I'm not a selfish player, so I'm going to go with a 60 here. For that defensive side, let's go up to a 70, and look at that, bro. You get more badges, and you're truly effective in every aspect of the game here on this build. So for the animations, you'll be able to get, you know, most of the better upgraded dribble animations, some pretty good passing styles. On top of that, you will be able to get deep bomber takeover ability with 1 cap breaker, but pretty much the best jump shots that you can hope for. And then for that driving layup, 2 cap breakers here. That's going to get you some really nice badges. But on top of that, bro, the packages. Now, the driving dunk, I'm happy with this. The standing dunk, same exact thing. So pretty well balanced from top to bottom, I would say. Now, let's go ahead and check out some of the badges. So the highest ones on the gold tier, we get set shot specialist. You also get strong handle, versatile visionary. We got immovable enforcer, off-ball pest. You get dimer, float game, and then pogo stick. So a few of these badges, you know, I'm going to get into the breakdown of the max plus 1s and the max plus 2s. There's a total of 3 each. But once we get to the silver, you know, you get slippery off-ball. You get post lockdown, layup mix master with brick wall. You get break starter, box out beast, and also area wizard. Interceptor for tier 1, pick dodger, physical finisher, on ball menace. I really like that one. Then we get deadeye, challenger, limitless range, and we're also going to be able to even get lightning launch. Now, wrapping up everything with the bronze, you get rebound chaser, ankle assassin with bailout. From there, we do get glove, handles for days, posterizer. That's a key one right there. Then you get rise up as well, paint prodigy with high flying denier, man. So my go-to badges in which I would cater towards mainly is going to be the defense and shooting. I'm going to be real with y'all. Now, if you do decide to specialize in defense, a badge that I would really recommend, and considering, you know, using cap breakers to possibly upgrade through, you know, attributes or a max plus 1 and a max plus 2. Now, if you do specialize in defense, use that max plus 2, put towards immovable enforcer. So that's going to be on legend. And then you have 1 for the tier 1. You know, it's all up to you, but I think gold, you know, interceptor is another good option to consider. Even if you want us to go with challenger, I think either of those 2 options would be best. Now, the next max plus 1 and max plus 2, I would go with silver high flying denier, and then you could go with pogo stick on Hall of Fame or legend. You can even swap these. So if you wanted to go with, let's say, gold high flying denier and go with Hall of Fame pogo stick, or even if, you know, change it to box out beast, getting that on gold, that's another option to work with. But as far as for the other max plus 1 and max plus 2, you can upgrade, you know, posterizer to gold if you wanted to change it to, let's say, you know, getting Hall of Fame limitless range, or even if you wanted to get Hall of Fame lightning launch. All of these are some pretty good options. You do have the potential to get Hall of Fame shifty shooter, set shot specialist. You can even use a max plus 1 here to get that to Hall of Fame as well. So there's a lot of different options. It's all going to come down to your preference and play style, but I truly think I lined y'all up correctly to easily make one of the best builds possible this year at the height of 6'6". So once we get into these takeovers, as you can see, we get sharpshooter, but I know a lot of y'all are going to use a cap breaker, put towards that 3-pointer to get it to a 90 and get deep bomber takeover ability. That's perfectly fine. But as far as for the ones that you do get off rip, you know, sharpshooter, lethal layup, we get dish master, you know, a pretty good amount of takeovers that we can pick from. For my preference, like I said, go ahead and use that cap breaker on the 3-pointer to get deep bomber, but you also can work with, glass gunner if you like, the general. That's not a bad one, especially if you're looking to be a dribbler on this build, or even if you want us to go with 3&D. That's another really great takeover that I like to use, but it's all going to come down to your preference. So I just really want to say thank every single one of y'all who made it to the very end. And if you have not done so already, bro, be sure to smash that like button. Let's get at least 25 likes on this video. I know that we can definitely do it, so let's go ahead and move forward to make sure that everybody made this build correctly. And as you can see, we should be able to get these 3 comparisons. And we have created, I'm introducing to y'all, the 2-way inside out bully dimer. This is definitely gotta be one of my favorite builds out there, especially considering that it can do a little bit of everything. In my opinion, bro, if you like this build, I got a whole lot of other ones just like this with 0 weaknesses. So go ahead and check out any of the previous videos that I posted on my channel. And I really just want to say thank every single one of y'all for your support, man. God bless every single one of you. We just hit 19,000 big supporters, and I want you to know that none of this would be possible without #1 Jesus Christ and y'all as well, the rich family. So before we get out of here, if it was your first time coming through, be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Smash that like button, turn on post notifications to be a part of the rich family. And last but definitely not least, with all that being said though, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.